Sigh no more, ladies, sigh no more. Men were deceivers ever. Okay, welcome back to the channel, Suns Out, Guns Out. Let's talk about this particular deception. This is a Pietta, replica of a Remington revolver, a model of 1858. And I would say 1858 Army, except that it's 36 cal, and I don't remember seeing one of these in 36 cal before. But that wouldn't make it an Army revolver. In any event, it's deceptive because it looks like a black powder revolver. Looks like a cap and ball revolver. And it was at one time, but it's had this cylinder installed so that now it shoots 38 special. And this is pretty interesting. I've seen these conversion cylinders before, but I've never had the chance to mess with one. I want to thank Joey for making this one available to evaluate. So it's got this pinhole and this pin to keep this back plate correctly oriented. And it's a little fiddly. There's no quick reload with this. You don't reload in the middle of a gunfight with this. And it has 6 firing pins because, of course, there's no firing pin in the frame. The frame is for a cap and ball revolver, so we have 6 firing pins. One. We have actually recessed cylinders, so the cartridges will sit in there nicely. Great for balloon head cases, although those don't exist anymore. This thing is a great fit for the revolver. And I know it must not have been made for this particular revolver. It must be just a drop-in part. So I don't know who's making these, but it may be Pietta. Whoever it is doing a great job, and these are a great fit. Or at least this one is, on this particular gun. That it fits so well, so tightly. I'm having trouble getting it back in. We're going to roll it in there. Don't worry, we'll edit it later. So we've got it back in the gun. Now we get our cylinder pin back in. And this is really fiddly. I've done this a couple of times off camera, and boy, it's not easy. Again, there is no quick way to reload this thing. Seems like a really cool, fun idea, but if you're thinking about one of these and you're thinking, yeah, I could reload it just like a modern, no. I could reload it like a single action arm, no. Getting that cylinder pin in is a real pain. It's not going to do it. It's way off center now. This thing is a very tight, sort of precise fit. And I now realize in order to shoot this thing on film, I'm going to have to do this again. I have to take it out and put it back in. Say what?
I was wondering why you didn't just load it now.
Prefer to embarrass myself. There we go. Apparently, if you thumb back the hammer a little bit, that helps. We don't have any kind of safety notches between the chambers, so you're pretty much going to have to rest this hammer on one of these chambers. Or you can rotate it kind of in between and kind of, sort of, I wouldn't carry it like this. Absolutely would not carry it like this. But on the range, just to load, it's probably okay. But there's not a good way of doing this, to be blunt about it. So let's go ahead and load up. We're loading some Winchester. This is just cheap Winchester white box. 130 grain full metal jacket. Same stuff I've been shooting in some other videos. Okay, now pray for me. Fit our little back plate here. It's kind of a fiddly fit. And I'm going to be putting my fingers right in front of these loaded chambers. And this hammer is going to threaten to hit one of those firing pins. That's going to be fun. I'm going to rest that between chambers to lessen the danger at least a little. And then I'm going to get my fingers out in front of this thing. You may notice I'm holding on this hammer for dear life.
Also, the weapon is pointed downrange.
Duh.
Just pointing that out too.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to get my thumb between hammer and frame. So worst case scenario, all it does is pinch my thumb. I'll switch my pinky. There we go. Leaves my thumb free to help fiddle all of this together. Okay. I think it's safe to say there is absolutely no good way of doing this. Oh, it's starting. Kudos to Pietta on this. The fit is so tight. Boy, you have to get everything aligned perfectly in order to get it back together. Okay. And I'm going to say there's no real safe way to lower the hammer, so I'm not even going to try. I'm just going to keep my thumb between hammer and frame, and then we're going to go to the target. We filming? Awesome. Okay, so I moved over to our pistol range here. Still have the gun at full cock. Obviously, it's pointed in a safe direction. I'm not saying this couldn't be done in, I don't know, relative safety. I mean, we've done it in relative safety, but we're on a range. Right now, we're alone. Gun was pointed down range all the time, but still you can see how difficult this thing is to load. And I guess if I'd only loaded 5 rounds and kept an empty chamber under the hammer, that would have helped. But I mean, no good way of doing it. However, let's see how it shoots. Now this thing, a lot of single action revolvers will shoot really low. Let's see if this one does. Not low, but left. That one was closer to dead on. And by the way, we now have a revolver that's quite safe to holster and carry, because I know I've got an empty chamber under the hammer. We're good, right? But if you were to load in this and carry this thing, I presume you're not going to load it up and then fire 1 round and then carry it. That doesn't make a lot of sense. As a carry gun, as a defensive gun, this thing doesn't make any sense at all. It's cool on the range. It's extremely cool. It's fun, and it has, you know, sort of a historical, there's a historical accuracy to it, in that there were lots of cartridge conversion guns in the 1860s, 1870s. But in terms of practicality, we're a long way from that. That was my 6. Let's go see how we did. In no particular order, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've knocked off some of the tape here that was pasting up some of the old shot holes. But yeah, those are our 6 rounds. And I mean, I could sort of cover that. Yeah, I can cover that with one hand. It's at about 10 yards. It's not horrible, but you know, I was hoping for better. To be blunt, we're asking this revolver, and I know a lot of people would say it's a sin to shoot jacketed bullets through a revolver, especially a single action. But we are asking this gun to shoot ammo that wasn't intended originally for it. It's intended to shoot like a round ball or a conical that's hand loaded, and not and not a full metal jacket, 357 diameter bullet. So the diameter is probably not perfect, and you know, we're asking it to do something it wasn't intended to do. I really was hoping for better than this, though, and if we tried a different brand of ammo, maybe it would work better. I don't know. It's okay. Obviously, it's shooting a little to the left. The sights aren't perfectly regulated. But in terms of elevation, it's okay. I mean, that's my aiming point. So, yeah, the center of the group is just a little bit low. I'm not going to complain much. As a cool, fun gun for the range, it's pretty neat. In terms of practicality, no, it doesn't really have much of that. It's a neat one, but results on target are disappointing. All right, so we've got our empty revolver. Let's get the empties out of it. All 6 fired. We get 6 dents. Hey, that's pretty handy. They just fall out, except for one of them. Oh, there we go. So they all fell out. I was worried about how I would extract these. These are standard pressure loads, fairly low powered loads, and so I was hoping, let me put this back on. I was hoping they'd just fall out, but I was thinking I'd have to find a pencil or a cleaning rod or something to knock them out of there, because there's really no part of the pistol that serves well for that. Often you can use the cylinder pin or something. That doesn't really work on this design. But there it is. And it's going to be a real pain to get this back in, but at least it's empty now. And shooting with modern smokeless powder, at least I don't have to worry about stripping this all apart and flushing it with water and flushing all the fouling out. I can just wipe it down and call it good. And I will say this also, you know, Pietta generally makes very, very high quality revolvers. This has a beautiful finish, and we can tell the fit is very tight. I will say that these grips, this wood to metal fit, is really not great. Back here, I can kind of feel the edge of that. It's not a big deal, but up here, there's kind of a sharp edge there. It's just there. And I can feel that under my pinky, right? When I'm shooting, I can feel that there's this, the wood is just a little bit proud. It's not great. I mean, the wood's proud here, but it doesn't, that's fine. It feels okay. But here, there's just that little bit of sharp edge that's irritating. Beautiful. I don't know. Let's get out in the sun. Hope it's showing up on camera. Beautiful color case hardening on this hammer. Absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, the finish it's a good looking gun. Kind of everything looks great about it. Boy, it gets a lot of fouling even from that smokeless powder though, doesn't it? Front side is this sort of blade. It's dovetailed in. The rear side is just a notch in the frame. But I mean, it's a beautiful replica. The trigger's good. Everything is tight. Everything is just very precise on it. It feels great. I'll say this little brass trigger guard. We have an empty gun. It is pointing down range. It's just a little bit sharp on the edges. If this were my gun, I would be tempted to take that off and use emery cloth or something like that and just break that edge a little bit so it's not quite so sharp and irritating under the index finger. But, and of course I didn't try shooting it as it was originally intended with a cap and ball, you know, ramming bullets down in here, that sort of thing. But octagon barrel, it feels good, it looks good. This is a nice revolver. It's got a few little flaws, and this cylinder I cannot recommend wholeheartedly. I mean, it's cool, it's fun, but caveat emptor on that. Buyer beware, shooter beware, because fiddling with that is really, really difficult. If you're looking for a cap and ball revolver, this might be great. If you're looking for a cartridge conversion, I don't know. But it is beautiful. It is fun to shoot. Let's wrap this up. So we have essentially a replica of an 1858 Army revolver, but it's 36 cal, which is actually like 375 diameter, right? Anyway, but 36 cal, which makes it a Navy revolver. Is it Army or is it Navy? You might say it has 1 foot in sea and 1 on shore. To one thing constant never. That's what somebody who's, you know, a really famous poet might say if he were reviewing this revolver. I thought this would leave me blithe and bonny. but not really. The performance on the range was not so great. To one thing, it was constant never. We saw that on the target. I'm going to say that the fraud of men was ever so, since summer first was leafy. Keep your powder dry. I can see the shame in your eyes.
A little bit, yeah.